So if I had to guess, you're here because you just started playing Escape from Tarkov. You loaded into your first raid, and you went, what in the actual is this? So here are the 10 things that I wish I'd known before I loaded into my first raid. There will be timestamps down in the description if you want to jump around or come back to a specific tip. Tip number 1. The very first thing you should do is head over to escapefromtarkov.com. Once you log in, make sure you're on your profile page. Scroll down to below where it says install. If there's any seasonal gifts, you'll see them here. Currently, the Christmas gift is active and I've already claimed it, but you would click on this button right here. Just below that, depending on the version of the game that you ordered, there'll be a claim button for additional items that you get. Once you've claimed your gift, jump back over to Escape from Tarkov. There'll be a message from the system, click on that and hit claim all. Thing number B, hotkeys. There are quite a few different key combinations that you'll eventually need to get accustomed to in Escape from Tarkov. The ones I'd like to introduce to you right now, alt click and control click. Alt clicking an item that can be worn will place that item in a free slot on your character. This allows you to quickly loot all types of gear directly onto your character, such as taking the weapon from a PMC that you just killed. Control clicking will attempt to loot the item into any free slot in one of your containers. These two keybinds will greatly speed up your ability to loot, which is a time when you are most vulnerable in raid. In addition to the already set up keybinds, I'd like to recommend for tip number 3 that you adjust a specific keybind, your discard button. Initially, this is set to backspace, which is inconveniently located on the far right side of your keyboard. I have this set to control and spacebar. The clutch part about this keybind is that when you mouse over items, you can discard them rapidly, thus reducing the time you're spending in the fetal looting position. To set that up, go over to the settings icon in the bottom right, click Controls, locate Discard. It's located near the bottom. Click in the first key window and hold down Control and hit space, then release both. Tip number 4. I almost feel like I'm cheating here, but this is an easy one. It's incredibly important that you disable any type of surround you might have in your headset. If you have any kind of surround emulation on the current Tarkov audio engine, you will get killed. Most of the time, it seems like it just combines all audio into one single omnidirectional blast coming at your character. You won't be able to pinpoint where the gunshots or footsteps are coming from. Tip number 5. Always pick up your quests. Always be trying to progress your quests. It's the fastest way to level up your character, which unlocks traders, which unlocks the flea market, makes the game significantly easier. So let's go take a look at the quests that you have. In the bottom bar, click on Traders. Here, you will be greeted by all the needy assholes that will proceed to ruin your life with their outright neurotic quests. That's right, Jaeger. We're all looking at you. When a trader has a regular quest available to you, there will be a blue checkmark glowing in the corner of their portrait. For each trader with the checkmark, click on the portrait and go to the very top of the screen. Select tasks, and go ahead and scroll down and accept each of the tasks that the traders are offering. All right, tip number 6. This is an easy one. Insure your gear. There are very few scenarios that this does not apply to, but that's a much bigger topic for way later. But really, do it. Insure your stuff. Let me know down in the comments if you're insuring your gear. If you're not, let me know why. Tip number 7. Now, before you're multi-millionaire Chad running the most meta equipment, it pays to play frugal early on, especially while you're learning the game mechanics. I strongly recommend that you shoot to enter each raid with a minimum viable gear for what your goal is. During the raid, any chance that you have to stash your own insured gear and claim something new is generally a win. Obviously, be conscious of the price that you pay to insure your gear. Don't dump the piece of loot that costs you 100,000 rubles to insure so that you can pick something up that has a value of 20,000 rubles. Look at each thing that you pick up, replace the gear as though you are purchasing it for the insurance cost of the item that you're dumping. So if your pack of vests costs 5,000 rubles to insure, and you can pick up another pack of vest, which is worth 25,000 rubles, you just purchased the pack-a for 5,000 rubles, saving yourself 20,000 rubles. All right, now speaking of goals, tip number 8. That's my approach to raiding. There's really kind of 3 categories as I see when I enter a raid. Going in for questing, PvP, or to make some money. While each of these things kind of tends to happen on most runs, I like to set a goal before going into each raid. That way I have a purpose and something to loosely ensure that I make consistent choices throughout the raid. Without it, I find that I often drift between these 2 different things. I'll hear gunshots and I'll run straight towards those and get killed. Or I'll end up with quest brain. I'll go find some items and be like, oh, I need to get out with this, I need to get out with that. And it drastically changes the way that I play the game. Enter each raid, having a rough plan of what you want to accomplish, and stick to it. Going into the raid to loot some quest item that you must extract with oftentimes gets derailed when you make a few extra stops to the high value loot areas, or end up pushing a fight you could easily have avoided. Alright, so now that you've hopefully made it out of raid with some loot, let's talk about tip number 9, which is my living OCD nightmare: the stash. Early on, with a lack of containers, and a key to help you if you're not an Edge of Darkness account, it can be incredibly difficult to find the space to put items after a raid. And more importantly, after a scav raid, since you have to fit everything off of your scav into your stash before you can close out of the scav menu. Anything left on the scav when you do close the menu, gone forever. The primary early game strategy is to cram all your items into different rigs and save up to purchase a scav junk box from the therapist, which is roughly 1,000,000 rubles. There are a few useful tools built in the game that will help in your lonely adventure of organizing your stash, which are both located in the bottom left of the stash grid: the sorting table and the auto sort buttons. Now, the sorting table allows you to have extra space temporarily. You can move items out of your stash into the sorting table, so that gives you the room to Tetris all the other items around and make it nice and pretty, because we all love our pretty stash. The auto sort button seeks to completely undo everything that you just did, in the most horrible way possible. But don't get me wrong, it does have some uses. Early on, when your stuff is just a hot mess that doesn't really have a home in any containers, your containers are not organized in any specific way, it is really nice to be able to hit a button and have all of the ammo that's randomly dispersed throughout your stash sorted to the top. So tip number 10, utilize the tools that are available out there. I will add some links to some very useful resources down in the description of the video. Most of these tools I use every single day, and I have most of them open while I'm raiding. One of the main websites that I always find myself on is the Tarkov Wiki. Here you can find details about every system, item, and quest in the game, including helpful hints, screenshots, and graphs. Next is a fairly new one to my arsenal, but it's pretty amazing. I give you Tarkov Tracker. With this website, you can track your quest progress, the items that you need for all your quests, any items you need for the future hideout upgrades. You can see an interactive map of all the quests that you need to complete and where. It even tells you which maps you have quests on and how many. And then the cherry on top is that you can link this with your friends and see all of the same details in one big picture overview for everybody. All of your friends' quests, what maps they're on, what items they need, and where they need to go on the map. Now, this tool could use its own video, and that's coming in the future. But for now, just know that you should be using this. Tarkov Market is a great way to check the price of items, see price history, find the best price for barters, and most profitable hideout crafts. And finally, there are quite a few map tools around. The one that I've been using since forever is Map Genie. I paid for the premium service forever ago. It was a small one-time payment, and it unlocks some additional tools on most maps. Alright, so you stuck around to the end. I applaud your stamina. With that, you win an extra tip. Tip number bonus. When you're playing with your friends, abuse Discord screen sharing functionality if you have a second monitor. Being able to roughly reference what your teammates are doing and what they're seeing goes a long way in reducing team kills. It also provides additional information that can help you create effective flanks against your enemies. Hey, real quick, if you found any helpful tips in this video, please hit that thumbs up. It really helps the other new players of Tarkov find my content and improve their gameplay. Thanks for watching. I will be following up this video with increasingly more complex guides for Escape from Tarkov. If you're interested in improving your gameplay, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you don't miss anything. If you want to come hang out and chat, I do stream regularly on Twitch, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I will link that down in the description. Please come by, hit me a follow. Until next time, peace.